Hey, what's up guys? Hardleg Joe here with your weekly What a Deck profile. This week, something I like to call Link Thief Cyber Angels. I'll just go through everything in here, and then I'll explain how it works. So for monsters, we have 3 Manju of the 10,000 Hands, 1 Honest, 3 Cyber Petite Angel, 3 Cyber Angel Ben 10, and 3 Cyber Angel Natasha. The rest of the deck is spells. We're playing 1 Raigeki, 3 Mind Control, 1 Dark Hole, 3 Terraforming, 1 Monster Reborn, 3 Brain Control, 3 Preparations of Rites, 3 Machine Angel Ritual, 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Scapegoat, and 3 Ritual Sanctuary. Our extra deck consists of 1 Tiras, 1 Utopia the Lightning, 1 Pleiades, 1 Utopia, Borreload Dragon, Skull Dread, Firewall Dragon, Gaia Saber, Ningirsu, Decode Talker, Mrs. Radiant, 2 Underclock Taker, 1 Link Spider, and 1 Link Karibo. The side deck I'll go over in a bit. So this deck is a troll deck based around doing 3 things: stealing your opponent's monsters, link summoning a whole bunch, and link summoning a whole bunch with your opponent's stolen monsters. Now we've got 3 cards that can steal your opponent's monsters, of which Mind Control and Brain Control are probably the simplest. Both are normal spells that target your opponent's monsters and take control of them until the end phase. Mind Control can target any monster, but that monster can't attack or be tributed, while Brain Control only allows you to take monsters that are capable of being normal summoned or set, but doesn't restrict what you can do with them. In either case, both of these only last until the end phase, so you want to make sure that whatever you take, you get it off the field before then, either by using it as link material, Ixie material, or in the case of Brain Control, tributing them for a ritual summon. Speaking of which, that brings us to our 3rd way to steal monsters, which is Cyber Angel Natasha. This card has 3 effects. First, once per turn, you can target a monster you control and gain life points equal to half its attack, which is a nice bonus, but not really important. Secondly, you can negate any attack that's directed towards a ritual monster, which not only includes itself, but is not once per turn, which gives us some pretty decent battle protection. And finally, and most importantly, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other Cyber Angel monster from your graveyard, then target 1 monster your opponent controls. Special summon this card, and if you do, take control of that monster. And this is the main effect that the deck is based around, because not only do you get to keep the monster you steal, but there's no restrictions for what you can target or what you can do with that monster. It's just yours now. Of course, to use this effect, you'll need to get Natasha into the graveyard, and that's where the Link shenanigans come into play. You can make Underclock Taker with any 2 effect monsters, so all you have to do is summon Natasha to the field with any other monster, either one of your normal monsters, or perhaps one of your opponent's stolen monsters, and then you can send it to the graveyard for Underclock and use its effect from there. Of course, that effect also says you have to banish another Cyber Angel from your graveyard, which is why we're playing Ben 10. It's level 6, so you can use it as the entire tribute when summoning Natasha, and when it's tributed, you can add any light fairy monster from your deck to your hand, allowing you to search out any monster in your deck you might want, usually either one of your normal summonable monsters, so you can link it with Natasha, or your one of Honest, if you just want some additional protection / damage. Now, almost everything else in the deck is just here to facilitate that main play. Manju lets you add a ritual monster or spell when it's normal summoned. Cyber Petite Angel lets you add a Cyber Angel monster or Machine Angel ritual when it's summoned. Preparations of Rites lets you add any level 7 or lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and if your ritual spell's in the graveyard, you can add that back as well. And then we have our field spell, Ritual Sanctuary, which lets you once per turn discard any spell card to add any light ritual monster or ritual spell from your deck to your hand, which is great in a spell-heavy deck like this, because it turns dead cards like extra copies of Terraforming or copies of Brain Control that you can't use into the rituals you need to get your plays going. Ritual Sanctuary also has a second effect, which is once per turn you can shuffle any number of spell cards from your graveyard into the deck to summon a light fairy from your graveyard whose level is equal to the number of cards you shuffled. So not only does this let you recycle your one-of spells like Raigeki, Dark Hole, and Monster Reborn, but it gets you more monsters on the field for links. Summoning Cyber Petite Angel triggers its effect, so you get even more searches. And if you want to be really cheeky, you can always summon Honest back from the graveyard, and then use its effect to return it to the hand, so you can discard it again next turn for that sweet attack boost. And really, that's the main engine of the deck. All that's left is we've got our one-ofs, which are just here because they're powerful spells that the deck can recycle. You can use them over and over again. Twin Twisters to help with our spell trap removal and get spells into the graveyard. And Scapegoat, which is just a powerful link enabler, help with the link spam that we already have going. Speaking of which, that's what most of our extra deck is. We play the Link Karibo, the Link Spider, and the Mrs. Radiant, just to use with the Scapegoat tokens. And everything else is really just a toolbox of Link 3s and Link 4s that are generic enough that you can use your opponent's monsters to make them. I put some of my favorites in here. Borreload in particular really fits the theme because it also steals your opponent's monsters. But you could put whatever in here. If you're playing this later on and there are better Link 3s and 4s, throw them in as well. I should also mention there's a couple generic Link 2s like Security Dragon that aren't out in America yet, but if you're playing this in the future or you're playing online and you just don't care about the format, you should definitely use those. I also have a couple other options here in the side deck, both for Link 2s, as well as some rank 4 and 5 Ixies. The rank 5s you can summon if you get 2 Natasha on the field, which is actually not all that difficult, and you can use it to make something like Pleiades, which lets you get another Natasha back into the graveyard while bouncing something. The rank 4s are a little more difficult to do on your own, which is why I'm only maining Utopia and the Lightning. But it's probably worth putting a couple rank 4s into the side deck if you're playing matches, since there are a lot of decks that may leave a level 4 on. And if there are, it's worth because you could use the mind control and the brain control to steal them, and then make powerful rank 4s like Baguska or Tornado Dragon fairly easily. As for the rest of the side deck, I originally played Creature Swap and Switcheroo in here, just for maximum stealing, maximum thievery. That was before I added the link element. I think the links make it a little bit better, a little bit more fun. But if Scapegoats gets limited, or if you really just don't want to play links in this, these can be a good alternative for that, either one of these. Creature Swap is, of course, a spell, so you can use it with Ritual Sanctuary. Switcheroo's probably a little better, especially with Scapegoat, because you can control the amount of monsters you have on the field. And finally, if you really want to troll, you can play this as a conversion side deck, or a smokescreen, pretty easily. Like the first duel, you offer to go second, or you try to go second just because you like to steal your opponent's monsters. You don't have a lot of strong opening plays. And then if you win, your opponent probably makes you go first. And that's when you tag in all this Herald of Perfection stuff, so that you make them regret that. You go first and you set up all these negations. Likewise, I didn't put it in here, but you could probably put Star Seraphs in here, especially if you're doing the conversion side deck, just to give you more fairies to discard. But anyway, that's the deck for this week. Not the strongest thing, but a fun original troll build that, if nothing else, hopefully has given you some ideas. Maybe you can take this and improve on them. As always, if you want to see the deck in action, you can check out, there's a link in the description and on the end screen. I play 10 duels against random opponents and show off how everything works. But anyway, next week I'll continue to play more on the troll side of things with a Patreon request for a light stun deck. So until then, good luck and have fun.